Her name was Amara, and on this morning, she still believed in things. She stood at her mirror in soft gold light, pinning an earring, unhurried and unafraid. On the dresser beside her, a red rose and a note from Daniel that read, "Tonight changes everything." She smiled at her reflection, the private, unguarded kind. She had no reason yet to be afraid. The church courtyard glowed in afternoon light. Amara stood surrounded by the women she loved, Nadia fixing her hair, her mother smoothing her dress, laughter everywhere. Her phone lit up. A text from Daniel. "Almost there. Save me a seat." She sent a heart back. Everything was perfectly, completely ordinary. She didn't know yet that ordinary was about to end. The courtyard emptied. Guests moved inside. Amara waited. 5 minutes. 10. She called. No answer. She told herself the stories people tell when they are trying to outrun a feeling. Traffic, dead battery, he's already inside. Inside the church, the choir sang. Amara settled into a back pew, and her phone vibrated, a tagged photo. Daniel at an altar across the city, kissing a woman in a wedding gown. The caption, "Just married," posted 22 minutes ago. She went very, very still. The choir swelled around her, impossibly loud. She sat there for exactly 30 more seconds. Then she stood. She did not run. She did not cry. She walked down the aisle with her spine straight and her face arranged into something that looked like composure. She pushed through the church doors. The courtyard was empty. And then, with no one watching, she leaned against the stone wall and her breath broke. It was very quiet. The kind of breaking that leaves no visible evidence. The bouquet slipped from her fingers. She didn't try to catch it. The roses scattered across the pavement, petals separating, stems cracking. One petal caught in the wind and drifted past her feet as she turned and walked away. She did not look back, not once. He came to her apartment at midnight, armed with an explanation he believed would be enough. When she opened the door, she was not crying. She had already done her grieving without him. She let him speak, every word of it. Then, very quietly, "You don't exist to me anymore." She closed the door. The lock clicked. That was the last space she ever gave him. 3 in the morning. She sat on her bedroom floor and cleared everything. His hoodie, their photos, the bracelet he gave her, every trace. She opened her journal, wrote 4 words, meant all of them. Never again. She turned off the light and lay in the dark, becoming someone new. 2 years later, Amara was extraordinary. Sharp coat, coffee in hand, a stride that moved through the city like a current. She looked like a woman who had everything she needed. She had engineered herself to look precisely that way. She was also completely, expertly untouchable. And she had convinced herself this was the same thing as being whole. A man approached her at a cafe. Attractive, polite, genuinely interested. There was nothing wrong with him. It changed nothing. She heard him out, thanked him, turned back to her laptop. Nadia watched from across the table with barely concealed despair. Nadia, he was lovely, Amara. He probably is. She did not look up. Nadia showed up with wine, takeout, and a year's worth of stored concern. She told Amara that a closed fist can't receive anything, that the version of herself behind all those walls wasn't safer, just lonelier. Amara listened. Then, calmly, "I'm done trusting what I cannot verify. I have tried trusting. I know what it costs." Amara had always slept without incident, so when the dream arrived, it arrived like something that had been waiting, a forest of silver trees, breathing mist, and at the edge of the light, a figure with amber eyes, watching her with patience that felt ancient. She reached toward it. Their fingers almost touched. She woke with her hands trembling, unable to explain why it didn't feel like sleep. It felt like a place she had actually been. The dream came back. 4 nights. 5. Each time slightly more detailed. Silver leaves that hummed, mist that smelled of something older than rain, the figure a little closer. She began writing fragments each morning before they faded. Silver forest, amber eyes, the feeling of being found. She told no one, but she knew this wasn't imagination. It felt like coordinates. She booked a solo trip to the countryside, told herself it was for rest, for a writing project, for herself. On the train, watching the city dissolve into open green hills, something in her chest released, quietly, like the first thread loosening in a very long-held knot. She told herself the forest had nothing to do with it. Her second afternoon, she walked into the woods without entirely knowing why. The trees grew older and taller as she went, the light changing quality, not dimmer, just different. She parted a curtain of hanging moss and found it, an archway of ancient black vines covered in flowers that pulsed with slow blue light, like something breathing. She looked through the arch and saw somewhere else entirely. She stood before it for a long time. She was a rational woman. She knew what this was. She turned to leave, took 3 steps, stopped. From the other side came a sound, not a call, not a warning, more like recognition, like a door opening in a room you know is there but have never entered. She turned back and stepped through. The world on the other side didn't feel foreign. It felt ancient, like standing somewhere that had been here so long. A voice from behind her, unhurried, faintly amused. Humans almost never find the threshold, and when they do, they rarely step through, which means you are either very brave or very lost. She turned. He was tall, still, dark fabric that shifted color like oil on water, pointed ears barely visible through dark hair, and those eyes, amber, lit from within, exactly as she had dreamed them. His name was Cael, and he was looking at her the way someone looks at a thing they have been waiting for. Whatever wonder she'd felt at the realm disappeared the moment there was a man to be guarded against. She crossed her arms, measured him, beautiful, aware of it, confident in the way of someone who has never had to earn access anywhere. She filed it all away and kept her face neutral. I'm not lost. I'll find my own way back. A pause, then, despite herself. What are you? The corner of his mouth moved, just barely, and he told her his name. She tried to find the arch alone. 20 minutes of walking later, she was nowhere. The forest had rearranged itself around her, calm and completely indifferent. Cael was leaning against a silver tree, arms folded, waiting. One evening of your time, I show you the realm. Then you leave freely. No debt, no obligation. She looked at his outstretched hand for a long moment, then took it. 2 fingers, the minimum amount of trust she could offer. It was enough to begin. He showed her the realm the way you show someone a home you have loved for centuries, unhurried, generous, wanting her to feel its quality rather than simply observe it. A river that sang, flowers that bloomed at the warmth of a hand, a tree that had grown around a collapsed star, its bark still radiating gold. She photographed everything because photographing was safer than feeling. But between the shots, her face did what she couldn't control. It opened, slowly, against everything she had built to stop it. They sat by the singing river. A silence settled, comfortable for him, unnerving for her. You look at beautiful things with sadness. Why? She decided how much truth was safe, then gave a little more than she planned. Because someone taught me that beautiful things lie, or end, usually both. He said that in his court, liars were called soul hollow, the worst name a person could carry. He said it like a belief, not a speech. She filed it away, said nothing, but she felt it land, the slow undoing of a closed heart. 2 days later, she returned to the arch. She told herself it was to confirm the realm was real. Scientific curiosity, documentation, nothing more. She stepped through. Cael was already there, not waiting exactly, just present, as though the realm had told him. He fell into step beside her. She let him. Neither mentioned that she'd come back. Some understandings are more honest for being unspoken. He took her to the Ethan Court, a vast hall where centuries-old trees had grown into the architecture, light falling in long columns through the canopy above. The nobles observed her with cool curiosity. Then Lady Isabeth, precise, beautiful, accustomed to being the sharpest thing in any room, said within full earshot of everyone that it was charming how the prince had developed a fascination with mortal pets. The hall went quiet. Amara went still. She knew exactly what this was. She had been diminished in rooms before. Cael turned to Isabeth. He did not raise his voice. He didn't need to. "You will address my guest by her name, with the respect owed to anyone I bring into this court. If I must say this again, I will remember that I said it, and you will not enjoy what that memory leads to." The temperature dropped. The court moved on as courts do, absorbing and continuing. Amara stood very still. Something in her chest was doing something she didn't have language for yet. Alone in a garden corridor, she turned on him, not with anger exactly, but with fear wearing aggression like a coat. "Don't protect me like I matter to you. I know how that story ends. I have lived the ending." He didn't defend himself, just looked at her steadily. "Then I'll wait, until you can trust what you see rather than fear what you remember. I have considerable patience, Amara." She turned and walked away because staying would have required her to do something with what she was feeling, and she wasn't ready. Back in the human world, she video called Nadia, who took one look at her and said, "Something has happened. The countryside is restful. You're glowing. Who is he?" She opened her mouth to deny it, closed it again, looked away from the camera, almost smiled. For the first time in 2 years, she felt the strange, frightening warmth of being truly known. She found it one morning at the base of the arch, a small vial of blown glass containing liquid that pulsed with slow blue light. Beside it, a note on a silver leaf. "So the threshold will always open for you. No bargain, no debt, no obligation, only the freedom to choose." She held it for a long time. The fact that it asked for nothing in return was what nearly broke through the wall entirely. She had forgotten such things existed. He took her to the court archive, a library older than human writing, where stories were stored as light threads that played in the air and arrived directly in the mind. He showed her one thread, a human woman who had pressed a grief into these walls centuries ago. Amara touched it. The grief entered her like a memory that wasn't hers, acute and total. She gasped. His hand steadied her arm, warm and immediate. She survived it. That is why her story is kept here, not as a tragedy, as proof. Late in the fade dusk, sitting above the court in a garden where the sky was a blue with no human equivalent, she told him everything. Daniel, the note, the church, the notification, the floor at 3 a.m., all of it. He listened without interrupting, without flinching, without offering a solution. When she finished, he said, "Thank you for trusting me with the shape of it." It was the first time anyone had called her pain a gift rather than a wound to be fixed. But something had shifted, permanently, quietly, like tectonic plates no one on the surface would notice until much later. Walking back through the silver forest. A branch forcing them close, a stepping stone requiring steadying. Then she stepped wrong on a root. His hand caught her elbow and didn't release immediately. They both went still. He looked at her. She looked at him. The silver leaves moved overhead. His hand fell. They kept walking. But something had shifted between them permanently, and neither needed to say so. Isabeth had not forgotten. She waited, then arranged 2 court members in a corridor Amara was known to walk through, speaking in the carefully measured volume of people pretending to be unheard. Fragments, fabricated. Cael's interest in a human presented as strategy, a political move, not a feeling. Power through obligation. Amara heard only pieces, but they were chosen to be enough. She left the realm that evening without a word. The human forest was very gray, very ordinary, very quiet, and the familiar dread of being deceived again moved through her like a tide she had always known would return. 4 days. She did not return. She sat in her cottage and wrote in her journal with the controlled fury of someone trying to convince themselves of a conclusion already reached. It doesn't matter. It was never real. I know how this works. She capped the pen, read what she'd written, did not feel the relief she expected. She began packing to go home, slowly, the way people pack when they are not yet entirely sure they mean it. The surrender and everything after. The knock came on the 5th evening. She opened the door. Cael stood in the rain on her doorstep, in the human world, in clothes that looked slightly wrong for it, without the architecture of his court around him, just himself, slightly uncertain, present in a way she hadn't seen before. "I was told you heard something. I need you to hear the rest of it from me." She looked at him for a long moment, then stepped aside. He came in. He told her everything, Izabeth's scheme, the fabricated conversation, the why of it. He didn't rush past the part where her fear was reasonable. He didn't perform his innocence. Then, "I cannot give you proof the way your world means proof. All I can tell you is that Fae do not dream of what we do not mean, and I have dreamed of you since before you ever crossed the threshold. The record is older than the betrayal you survived." She stood in her ordinary cottage kitchen and did the hardest thing she had ever done. She let herself consider that he might be telling the truth. She told him the rest. Not just what Daniel had done, but who she had become in response. How she had polished her armor until it looked like strength. How she had told herself every morning for 2 years that she was fine. "I am terrified, not of you, of the version of me that forgets to be careful, because she is the one who ends up on the floor at 3 in the morning, and I have been her. I will not be her again." He listened to every word. Then, quietly, "She is also the only version of you that can be loved." The cottage was very quiet. She stood still and let that sentence do its slow, irreversible work. The next morning, they walked the edge of the forest, the border between worlds where the light shifts with every step. Their hands were at their sides. The morning was cool, and then, without a speech, without drama, she simply reached out and took his hand. He closed his hand around hers with the quiet gravity of someone who understands exactly what they are holding. They kept walking, said nothing. Everything had changed, and neither needed to name it. Inside the realm, gold and ivory petals falling from the silver trees in a slow, perpetual cascade. She looked up at them. He looked at her. She turned and found him watching, and this time did not look away. "I'm still scared. So am I. You're ancient. You don't get to be scared. And yet..." She kissed him. The forest bloomed, every flower for 100 meters opening at once, petals rising on warm air, the entire realm exhaling as though it had been holding its breath and had finally been allowed to let go. She told Nadia everything, all of it. The arch, the realm, the prince, the amber eyes, the bloom. Nadia listened in the longest silence Amara had ever known her to keep. Then, "Nadia, a Fae prince. I know. And you almost went home." "I know, Nadia." Nadia took both her hands across the table, eyes bright. "I am so unspeakably glad you went into those woods." Amara laughed. A real one, the unguarded kind. The kind that means something has come back. The final scene mirrors the first. Amara walks through the city. Same coat, same coffee, same stride. Everything familiar, everything the same, and yet the eyes are different, present, soft at the edges. alive in the specific way of someone who has decided to be alive again consciously, knowing exactly what it costs. She touches the vial at her neck, smiles, private, involuntary, real. And at the edge of the frame, through a gap between buildings where a park gate stands open, the faintest shimmer of blue pulsing flowers. She didn't stop being careful. She simply found someone worth the risk. And this time, she chose with both eyes open.